So we have one more Gigafactory now on which we can do weekly updates. Giga Texas or Giga Austin. Isn't that awesome? And of course, we will also provide a detailed analysis about Giga Berlin, where new rumors surfaced that Tesla could actually build its next generation battery there. And what? 2 million vehicles per year at Giga Berlin.
And of course, we'll also take a look at the status of Giga Shanghai. Then Elon gave some highly interesting updates on Neuralink, and there is news on the next commercial supersonic passenger jet, the Boom Overture. A lot to talk about as always, so stay tuned.
So now that Giga Texas has been confirmed by Elon, everyone was thinking, cool, but when will construction start? But then, bam, it has already started. We talked in detail in this video here what this will mean for the city of Austin and the surrounding region. Our awesome viewer Joel Techmeyer, who himself now has started a YouTube channel, providing regular updates on the construction progress at Giga Austin, has given us permission to use his excellent drone footage of the Giga Austin construction site. And please also go and check out his awesome channel. We will put the link into the video description. This here is the location where the construction site is situated. It is about 10 miles or 16 kilometers east of downtown Austin. And in these drone shots by Joel, we can see that amazingly, construction has already started with full speed. If you thought that Giga Shanghai construction was fast, or that even Giga Berlin surprised you with fastness, we think that Giga Austin will set a new record. As Joel explains, you can see that significant earth moving has already occurred. A black asphalt pad was added. The central pond has already been almost completely removed. Trees have been cleared and water has been removed at the north end of the site. The excavating and construction company is Ranger Excavations LLC. So at this rate of progress, probably the foundation work will already begin by next week, as insane as it sounds.
At Giga Berlin, meanwhile, a lot has happened since we last time covered the progress 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago it looked like this, and now it looks like this here. Thanks again to Tobias Lind for these amazing drone shots. A link to his awesome channel, of course, also in the description. We see that the paint shop here has now already many wall sections. By the way, Elon said that Giga Berlin will get a unique color option, namely deep crimson red, which will be sprayed onto the cars here in the paint shop. They also started with walls and the roof structure at the drive unit building, as we can see here. Tobias Lind visualized how this will look when finished. Awesome work, Tobias! And even the foundation work has started now at the General Assembly building, meaning that now all factory sections are being worked on and growing simultaneously. Okay, so progress at Giga Berlin is as always extremely fast, but there are some other extremely interesting news about Giga Berlin about which we also have to talk. Namely, the German news magazine Focus has reported that Giga Berlin will produce 2 million cars per year when finished. What? 2 million cars per year? We know that when Giga Berlin Phase 1 will be finished by summer 2021, it will pump out 100,000 cars per year. When it will be fully completed, so all 4 assembly buildings finished at some point in the next years, then it will pump out 500,000 cars per year, a figure that we have often heard already. But 2 million per year?
The source of this number is quite vague. One might even go as far as to say, made up. Focus just says that it comes from sources who are involved in the construction of Giga Berlin. So yes, please take this number with a giant grain of salt. But if it would turn out to be true, it would be absolutely insane. We, however, doubt that number. 500, or let's say 750,000 as an upper figure of produced cars per year when fully finished seems more realistic to us. But hey, who knows? Maybe Elon will surprise us all.
And if you think, hey, those two talk some interesting stuff about gigafactories, disruptive technologies, but even about spaceflight and the colonization of space, then why not subscribe to stay up to date on these topics?
And then there was another highly interesting piece of news regarding Giga Berlin, namely that a completely new battery will be built there. As Brandenburg's Minister of Economics, Jörg Steinbach said in an interview with the local German mainstream news media station RBB24. He said that it's a completely new technology that will be smaller than the previously manufactured battery cells and will have a higher energy density. We think this battery at Giga Berlin will be based on Tesla's new in-house built battery, the so-called Roadrunner project. More details about this project will be revealed by Elon on Battery Day on September 22nd. There will be a complete assembly line at the Fremont factory for Tesla's in-house built battery. It will be based on Sillion and Maxwell technology, and we suspect a 20 to 30% higher energy density for these new battery cells. Probably this is the battery Steinbach was talking about. So an assembly line at Giga Berlin for Tesla's in-house built next-gen battery would be absolutely incredible. Panasonic, by the way, also just confirmed recently that they also plan to increase the energy density of their 2170 cells by about 20% in the coming years. It's quite funny though. A few weeks ago, news was still circulating around saying that Giga Berlin will only produce 100,000 cars per year and won't have on-site battery production. And now we are talking about 2 million cars per year with a brand new next generation Tesla battery built directly on site. Wow, so much for the accuracy of news these days. And over at Giga Shanghai, meanwhile, the Model Y production factory extension. Factory extension, by the way, being quite funny, as we are actually talking about a giant additional factory, is almost finished. Now the work on the inside is being carried out, with all the assembly robots and machines being carried inside and being set up. So everything looking good for the Model Y production start in China later this year.
Now you probably might be wondering, how will all these factories compare to each other size-wise? There is this cool picture here showing the different sizes of all Tesla factories. Even the distribution center at Tilburg in the Netherlands. We can immediately see how gargantuan Giga Austin will be and Giga Berlin with all 4 assembly buildings completed. Okay, so much now for the Gigafactories, but now Neuralink. Elon gave some highly intriguing updates on Neuralink in some tweets. First of all, he said that on the next Neuralink presentation, which he said will take place on the 28th of August, they will show neurons firing in real time at said presentation. This is pretty awesome. But more, Elon said also that thanks to Neuralink, it will be possible to create a neural shunt from the motor cortex to microcontrollers in the muscles, which would allow to restore movement even if someone has a fully severed spinal cord. This means nothing less that Neuralink could allow paralyzed patients to move again. Elon has also hinted that Neuralink will allow to make deaf people hear again and even blind people see again. And it could even help people with anxiety disorder and depression. So yeah, Neuralink will be pretty epic, not only because it will prevent the AI overlord apocalypse from happening, but also for its very real and tangible medical applications. Oh, and you can also stream music directly into your brain. Oh, and you can also control devices like smartphones, mouse or keyboard directly with your thoughts. Oh, and Universal Translator from Star Trek, of course. So Neuralink will have so many applications, it's incredible. We're planning to do a full Neuralink and transhumanism episode once the presentation on the 28th of August has taken place.
No big news on air taxis or Hyperloop this week. But there are some interesting updates on the next passenger supersonic airplane. Since the retirement of the Concorde 17 years ago, there hasn't been even one supersonic passenger airplane. We are now in the year 2020, actually flying slower than we did, for example, in the 70s or 80s. If that isn't embarrassing, we really don't know what is. This is not how progress looks, and this is exactly what the company Boom Technology from Denver, Colorado is trying to solve here. Founded by Blake Shaw, Joe Welding, and Josh Quell. It is Boom's mission to not only bring back supersonic passenger flight, but to make it economically viable and also to make it sustainable. Boom is working on their XB-1 test jet, which they call the Baby Boom. It will be a demonstrator which is scheduled to do test flights already next year.
But the real deal will be their Overture, a passenger jet which will be able to carry up to 75 passengers per flight and will be able to reach a speed of Mach 2.2, so 2700 kph or 1700 mph, and will have a range of 8,300 kilometers. It is aimed to enter commercial operation by 2025. The key differences to Concorde will be that the fuel will be made 80% from animal fats, and it will have a much higher fuel efficiency than Concorde, and aimed to be almost fully recyclable. But unfortunately, it will still have a sonic boom, which kind of limits the use to routes overseas. And now they have announced a partnership with Rolls-Royce, who will develop the engine design for the Overture. Now, besides Boom Supersonic, there's also Ariane with the AS2. It will be able to fly with Mach 1.6 and carry 12 passengers, so not really too impressive compared to the Boom Overture. And unfortunately, the SAI quiet supersonic transport never went beyond this rendering here. It would have been a Mach 1.6 plane with no supersonic boom due to its unique wing design. So until Elon comes with his famous electric supersonic VTOL jet, which probably won't be before 2030, it indeed looks like Boom Supersonic will have the only viable supersonic passenger jet. And if you want to learn more about Tesla's secret battery project, you can watch this video here.
So thanks for watching the JS Disruption Report, and I'd say on to the future.
Ja, wir haben Spaß.
What did we do last week?